back to Galaxy Recaps. Today we'll be recapping an action thriller movie titled Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre. Enjoy the recap. Contractor Nathan Jasmine received an unusual emergency call on a Sunday morning, prompting him to visit a crucial British government building. Upon his arrival, he met with Knighton, the government agent in charge of emergency operations. Knighton briefed Nathan about a recent event where a gang broke into a facility in Odessa, Ukraine, killing 20 people and stealing a top-secret device codenamed the Handle. The device's purpose remains a mystery, and Nathan is tasked with recovering it. Additionally, Nathan must investigate the identity of the thief, the seller, and the buyer, as rumors of its sale for $10 billion are already circulating in the criminal world. Nathan sets out to assemble a team, starting with super agent Orson Fortune as the leader of the squad. Knighton is not a fan of Orson due to his expensive tastes in luxury jets and so on, but Nathan is unwavering in his decision. He makes his way to Morocco and tells Orson his government-funded holiday is over. Orson begrudgingly accepts the mission. However, the group still needs a skilled hacker after their usual candidate was poached by Nathan's competitor Mike. Therefore, Nathan reaches out to a new addition, Sarah Fidel. The team's strength is further enhanced by the inclusion of sharpshooter JJ, and they embark on their mission to recover the Handle. They are currently in Madrid, Spain, attempting to intercept a package from a delivery man named Donald. While Sarah is the eyes in the sky, both Orson and JJ, along with two support members, Jane and Marcia, are watching Donald. It quickly becomes apparent that there is more than just their team at the airport. The two women get tasered and left unconscious, and Sarah's computer is hacked, preventing her from seeing what is happening live. After fixing the issue, she alerts Orson to two men approaching him. He takes them both out with ease and immediately rushes outside alongside JJ. Two men are ushering Donald to their car, and Orson quickly knocks both of them out as JJ handles the man in the car. Nathan brings his van around and Donald is forced inside. Unfortunately, they are unaware that Donald has a heart condition and begins having a heart attack while they are being pursued by multiple vehicles. Nathan then tries to decode the hard drive while Donald tells them they have his wife. The van comes to a halt as they are blocked off, and JJ locks the doors. Donald says they don't know his face and gives Orson the location of the meeting. The hard drive finishes downloading as the door is ripped open. Mike looks at a dead Donald and then greets Nathan and Orson. He asks for the hard drive, which is met without resistance. The second mouse always gets the cheese. The team makes their way to Madrid and Nathan pretends to be Donald. Two men then approach him and ask if the suitcase is theirs, to which he nods. His glasses scan the face of the person picking up the briefcase, revealing him to be Ben Harris, the lawyer and right-hand man of billionaire weapons dealer Greg Simmons. Despite being nearly impossible to catch, they find Greg attending a fundraiser for orphans of war. Ironically, he is the type to start and fund wars. They take their jet to LA with a plan to blackmail a man named Danny Francesco, one of the best actors in the world. Danny is loved and obsessed over by Greg Simmons, so they plan to use him as bait. They barge their way into Danny's private jet, and Orson tells him he is his new business manager. They're invited to the fundraiser, and after showing Danny some incriminating photos, he agrees to help. At the party, Orson and his team of spies gradually become closer to Greg Simmons. Despite Sarah posing as Danny's partner and Orson posing as the actor's business manager, Greg is more focused on his favorite guest, Danny Francesco. However, as the night goes on, it becomes apparent that Greg Simmons is the middleman in the Handle deal, having arranged both the buyers and the sellers, who are revealed to be the Ukrainian mafia. Orson and his team uncover this information by hacking into Greg's system. It's revealed that the Ukrainian mafia were the same group who had stolen the Handle from the facility. Before leaving, Greg invites Danny to spend the weekend at his house in Anatolia, after learning that his favorite actor's next movie is about playing a billionaire just like him. Orson then breaks into the Ukrainian mafia's house the following night, connecting knockout gas to the ventilation system, which puts anyone who breathes it to sleep. He then steals jewels and other valuable items to make it appear like a typical burglary, but his true aim is to acquire the data on their secret laptop. The group, who had previously been to Madrid, headed to Turkey because phone calls they intercepted suggested that the transaction would take place there. Additionally, This aligned with Greg Simmons' invitation to Danny and Sarah to spend the weekend at his villa in Anatolia, Turkey. During this weekend getaway, Greg and Danny become friends as the actor is mesmerized by the crooked billionaire's obsession with him, even restoring his old cars. Amidst all this, Sarah must keep up the dangerous job of hacking into the security system and looking for any incriminating information about what the secret device is and who wants to buy it. However, what she initially finds is oddly unsuspicious, as the deal that is about to take place seems to be about usual AK-47 guns. While the gun trade itself is alarming, the involvement of such important players taking high risks does not fit in with simple AK-47s. Elsewhere, Orson manages to follow the Ukrainians and ends up finding Ben Harris. He begins following him and has JJ jam communications from his phone. JJ intercepts a message saying that he remembers Orson from the fundraiser, and the bodyguard confronts him. This results in a punch to his face with Ben Harris taking off. Orson goes to chase him and ends up in a tower. Ben Harris tries to tackle Orson but falls over the edge and splat. JJ and Orson put his remains in the boot of the car. That night, Sarah finds out that the AK-47s were a ruse, and the handle was indeed what was about to be sold. Orson's team is informed about what the handle actually is, as Naiden explains the matter. The handle is a new, first-of-its-kind programmable AI device that can hack into any system, including governments. While most governments, including the British administration, had believed that the device was still in development, it is now actually in a fully usable condition. Hence the reason the Ukrainian mafia stole it. From the newspaper and data from his phone, they learned that Ben Harris was supposed to be picked up from a hotel by the representative of the buyer and was acting as a middleman working for Greg Simmons, who was brokering the deal. Ben was supposed to receive a 15-digit password to unlock the handle once the Ukrainians received the money. With Ben Harris dead and no one knowing his face, Orson pretends to be him and is picked up from the hotel lobby. After disposing of his phone and being scanned, they begin their drive to the handover location, with JJ in pursuit. Meanwhile, Sarah is still at Greg Simmons' house and is contacted by Nathan to change Orson's voice to match Ben Harris. She hacks back into Greg's system and waits for Greg to call Orson to disguise his voice. JJ sees the car in front of him go off-road and drives to the top of a hill where he gets into position. Sarah plays with the voice modulator and tells Danny to get the car ready in the garage in case they are found out. Orson steps out of the car, waiting for the arrival of the Ukrainians, and puts a device in his ear to communicate with his team. Simultaneously, JJ gets into sniper position while Sarah waits to hack the phone call, and Greg awaits Ben Harris's call. The Ukrainians finally arrive, and JJ keeps an eye on them from his sniper position. Orson greets them, and they open the boot, revealing the handle. He checks it and asks for his phone. Greg Simmons answers Orson's phone call, and Sarah immediately uses the voice modulator. Greg's assistant and security detect an anomaly in the security system and realize they are being hacked. Greg sends the code over, and as the $10 billion is sent and confirmed, Orson inputs the last digit in the code, unlocking the handle. Once Orson secures the handle, Sarah wipes out the recently transferred $10 billion from the Ukrainians' bank account, which they had just received from the buyer. However, before Orson can safely get away, 2 helicopters arrive on the scene, and things quickly turn ugly. Orson takes out 2 men, but the helicopter starts firing a barrage of bullets. He hijacks a wagon, but the helicopter's machine gun misses him. The men start turning on each other, and Orson's wagon is hit. JJ informs him that this is Mike's doing. Orson gets out of the car and grabs a radio off one of the men as Mike taunts him. Mike's men on the ground are butchering anything that moves. Mike lands the chopper and his men kill off the resistance and capture a few of them. They take the handle off Orson, and JJ notices something is wrong. Mike executes an unarmed man and gives the command to kill Orson, which JJ overhears on his radio. It seems Mike has gone rogue, and with pinpoint accuracy, he kills the 3 men behind Orson. In the meantime, Sarah and Danny jump into a car and make their way to the gate. Danny is terrified until the guard simply asks for a selfie. Simultaneously, the security team runs to Greg and tells him they've been hacked, and that Ben Harris wasn't the person he spoke to on the phone. Greg orders them to stop Danny Francesco and whoever is with him immediately. The security team chases Danny and Sarah in their vehicles, while JJ and Orson spot an unmanned helicopter and opt to pursue Mike with it. Fortunately, Greg had replicated the bulletproof car from the movie, allowing Danny and Sarah to dodge gunfire and even eliminate a carload of attackers. Despite their initial success, they eventually find themselves in a dire situation. However, as they pass through a tunnel, JJ and Orson swoop in with the helicopter and eliminate the remaining assailants. Everyone then jumps into the helicopter, and Orson has an amazing idea. Upon discovering that Mike was working for the German buyers all along, Orson, Sarah, JJ, and Danny decide to seek assistance from Greg at his vacation house. Orson is confident that Greg would lend them a hand. By this point, Greg has realized that he has been manipulated by the spies with the aid of his beloved actor, Danny Francesco. However, he appears rather amused by the situation. After Sarah informs him about the pictures of AK-47s she has and threatens to blackmail him, Greg remains unfazed and expresses his desire to collect his commission from the deal. However, Greg would only receive his fee if the AI device was not delivered to the buyers by Mike, so Greg agreed to join forces with Orson and his team. Nathan calls Knighton and shares the news. The two German billionaires have purchased $40 billion worth of gold, and the handle will drastically impact the markets and raise the value of their gold to hundreds of billions. With the assistance of Orson, Greg, and their team, they locate the precise spot where the exchange is set to occur. Greg assumes that Mike has already arrived and coordinates his actions accordingly. He brings Danny along for the fun of it. Upon joining Mike and his team, Trent and Arnold, Greg showcases his authority by detonating remote missiles that take out satellites in the distance. Additionally, he intimidates everyone in the room by blackmailing them with sensitive information about their loved ones and families, stating that a missile will hit them if he doesn't get the $1 billion he was promised. He walks out and says he wants the money in 5 minutes or else. In the meantime, Orson is making his way towards the tower, assassinating anyone that gets in his way. JJ helps with his sniper skills, and Orson makes it to the tower as Danny and Greg leave. This is enough to create a division between Mike and the Germans. The private contractor spy, Mike, now decides to keep the handle for himself. When his expert hacker informs Mike that they have all the contacts and information for Trent and Arnold, Mike decides to make use of these contacts to sell the device to somebody else, since the tech billionaires were now refusing to pay his commission. A shootout ensues, with Mike and the other guards, resulting in everyone but Mike dying. Following this, Orson enters the room and engages in a fierce fight with Mike. Orson gains the upper hand and uses the metal case of the handle to subdue Mike, effectively obtaining the AI superweapon device. The team flies to Doha, where Nathan receives the device. Orson, Sarah, and JJ intend to drop off the handle and walk away. Nathan tells Orson to return the jewels and valuables that he had stolen from the Ukrainian's house, to which Orson replies that he has already sold them off and invested the money in a Hollywood film. In the mid-credits scene, Danny Francesco is playing the lead role of a billionaire inspired by the life of Greg Simmons. He looks, speaks, and acts exactly as Greg does. Greg Simmons is now helping Danny with this new Hollywood movie that everyone is invested in. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.